Hi Nikita, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to meet you. Could you just kick off with a brief introduction to A Bird Flew In? What can audiences expect if they watch it?
So A Bird Flew In is all about a number of different couples over lockdown, and it's exploring how lockdown affected different people in different ways. So it kind of challenges your thinking about how this pandemic affected us, and also shows you how the pandemic brought a lot of people closer, even though there was that element of distance.
And, it's Kirsty Bell's debut feature. How did you feel when you first read the script, and what was the appeal for you?
I mean, so the audition that I did for the character was kind of like the pivotal scene for my character. She's, without spoiling too much, she's having a big old breakdown, everything's becoming a bit too much, and I thought the scene was written with so much honesty. It wasn't kind of making anything too dramatic. It was really showing how being alone in lockdown can affect some people in really profound ways. So I thought that it was something which showed that so beautifully. I think also it's a relationship between my character and her ex-boyfriend, which is so interesting because it's not your typical lovey-dovey relationship. It does make you think about the origins of the relationship and challenges you to think whether it's potentially not very savoury, or whether it is actually coming from a loving place. So I thought that it was a really interesting relationship to explore.
And can you tell us briefly about how your character fits into these? It's kind of these 7 interlocking narratives, right, that fit together. So how does your character fit in?
Yeah, so my character is the ex-girlfriend of someone who's working on the film that brings everyone together. So she's potentially a character that's a bit more distant, but she's still involved because she has that connection to her ex-boyfriend.
And of course, we all went through lockdown, we were all there, but this is quite a specific take on it, kind of thinking of, being a creator and being an actress without an audience, a director without a film to direct. Did you have any parallels to your own experience, and did that kind of get channeled into your performance?
Oh, definitely. I mean, even though the character wasn't directly involved in the film, it really did make me think about how lockdown affected all creatives in the industry, because everything came to a standstill. So I think it was so nice to get on this project pretty much as soon as we could, post lockdown, because I think the cast and crew really knew how much it all meant to us that we were getting back to work, because everyone did. I think there was a massive gap because we just weren't able to work. So it was really nice being able to come together during this time. Yeah, there definitely were parallels.
And what was your experience of being on the shoot, and particularly working with Kirsty, directing her first film, but also with this incredible kind of ensemble cast?
Yes, yeah. So I mean, I was lucky enough to meet everyone at the screening, but because it was pretty fresh post-lockdown, we all had to kind of separate. So I was mainly working with my kind of on-screen partner. But it was so nice to work with him and work with Kirsty as well. I mean, even though this is her directorial debut, she's been in the industry for so long, and she really had a vision, and it was so easy talking to her, talking about what we wanted for the character, for Trish, and I had such a fun time.
What do you hope people take away from watching it? Because I guess, I don't know, has enough time passed so we can all kind of reflect back on it? Some of us are a bit traumatised, but it does feel like there's something that we all need to face a bit about, thinking about that period of time we've all been through, and films like this can help us do that maybe.
Yeah, definitely. It's exactly that. I mean, there are elements of the movie which are meant to kind of bring up the potentially, sad parts of the lockdown. There was so much distance between people, and people suffered a lot of loss. So there are elements of the film which do touch on that, but I think although it may not be overtly happy, it's important to be reminded of that it was quite a traumatizing time. But there are parts of the movie which are so lovely as well. You get reminded that lockdown did bring people together as well, despite the distance. So I think it's a really important movie to remind ourselves of the time and how it affected all of us in different ways.
And it does feel like, there's quite a female focus, not only in the characters, but of course with, the female director. Do you think that's kind of important, and we should be seeing more of that on screen?
Definitely. I mean, I'm going to be the biggest advocate for more women in the front line on screen. So I love that I got to work with Kirsty as a female director. I always find it so refreshing when there's a female director, and I had a great time working with her. I think she's a wonderful director to work with, and I love that it's so female focused.
And quickly tell us about your next project. Where can we see you next?
So I have a TV show coming out hopefully towards the start of next year, short film coming out as well, and hopefully lots more.
Amazing. It's lovely to chat to you. Thanks so much for your time. Cheers. Enjoy the evening.